Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming. Wow, that is a lot of people. Hi, everyone. I hope you guys are doing well. Honestly, it's such an honor to be back. I used to be from Ngee Poly. So coming back here, I was like, wow, reminiscing all my way to the FMS block. Film and Media Studies, that was where I was from. But today we're going to talk about some uncomfortable topics. We're going to talk about some things that helped me get to where I am today. So thank you for coming, and let's get into it. Can I see a raise of hands? Who here sees a spoon? Raise up your hand. Okay. Who here sees a horse? Raise up your hand. Me also. Who here sees a butterfly? Raise up your hand. Very nice. And it's very funny, right? Our brain likes to categorize things, put labels on it. Why? It's very natural. It makes us feel human. It makes us feel like we know what we're talking about. It makes us feel like we know exactly what we're looking at. But what if the thing that you're trying to look at and categorize is a person? Ever since young, I've always been told that men is supposed to be very masculine. Men must have low voices. Men must have a huge, strong stance. Men should be men. And then there was me. I never really fit into that mold. And every single time someone would come up to me and give me their rule book of, how come you are not like that? I will always fall back into the three words that I've created for myself. Trust me, it's a very Singaporean phrase. And the phrase is, who say cannot? Because who says that this cannot be a butterfly, a horse, and a spoon? Who says that you can't be masculine with a full face of makeup? Who says you can't be a great leader while being a soft one as well? And maybe underneath all of that, what we're really asking is, who decides what deserves love and acceptance online and offline? Growing up in primary school, it wasn't the easiest of times. I used to be a very flamboyant boy. There are often times I still remember the seniors will come up to me. So I've had a lot of words said to me. And I didn't really quite understand what they were saying. But all I understand was being different made me into a problem that people wanted to solve. It was already hard enough trying to find friends, trying to make friends with other guys. And it wasn't easy. So, what did I do, right? People say, hey, you should be more manly. Okay, the next photo is going to be very embarrassing. So, I actually tried. I told myself I'm going to have a more masculine stance. I'm going to be a bit more manly. I was not happy. It felt like I was acting every single day to just appease and just to find friends with people that I don't even know. That was who I wanted to be, myself. But sometimes the people that are closest to me don't actually realize the weight of their words. So I remember very clearly one day my mom was getting ready to go out. Short run, right? Wow, this was what changed my life. She was getting ready, and then I saw her take out this 64 color eyeshadow palette. I saw it and I was like, wow! She put it on her face. Not very nice, but it's okay. I took it into the toilet and I was drawing all over my face. I was like, wow. And just like that, I looked in the mirror and I didn't see a boy or a girl. I saw art. I was like, you know what? This is what I want to be. Then just when I was so happy posing in the mirror, wow, Ryan, you did such a good job. My mother came back home. So as I heard the footsteps open, I started scrubbing and scrubbing and scrubbing, just so that she won't find out, that I took her eyeshadow palette. But that was when I realized that I was learning how to hide. And in my teenage years, I realized that hiding was costing me more than being judged ever did. So I told myself, you know what? Screw this. I'm going to start posting online. I'm going to be a content creator. I'm going to start posting more of my makeup stuff. I did that. And just when I thought I ruled the world gave me their sets of rules. There was one time that I told myself, you know what? I'm not going to give a about what they say about me. So I delved into content creation. Why? Because I told myself, if they were gonna stare at something, let me give them something to stare at. I got better at my craft. And that was exactly what I did. Because I realized that no one actually cares, you know? I remember there was once I had a commercial gig. That was how I looked like. I went into the room with a full face of makeup. It was for a TV gig. And then the producer came up and told me, he said, I'm so sorry, but can you take it off, please? It's a bit too much for me. And I was like, oh, what do you mean? I thought you guys casted me because you guys wanted me to be part of the show, right? Yeah, but it's too much. And that was when I realized that they didn't really want me. They wanted the safe version of me. Did I still do the gig? Of course. It was really highly paid. But after that gig, I told myself that I would never ever do anything to feel like that ever again. So then, as I was growing on social media, I had a series called The Brutally Honest Reviews. I was reviewing different makeup products. And a brand reached out to me and said, hey Ryan, I really love your series. Can I be part of it? We'll pay you however much you want. I want to be on this. I said, sure, thanks for the money, man. I took the product, I tried it. Wow, terrible. I would not recommend it to anybody at all. So I go and tell the brand, I said, hi, no, it's really bad. Yeah. And then the brand came and tell me, he said, actually, right, we are paying you already. So how about you just say the nice stuff? And I said, no. Why? I didn't just become any social media influencer. I'll be like anyone else. People trust the words that I say. And I told myself I want to be someone who is honest, someone who actually cares about what people spend their money on. So when I said no to the client, and by the way, this client is like really big. I had other influencers come and tell me and say, you don't know, if you say no to them, you will lose so many opportunities in the future. That was the risk I took. So I said no. Oh, the money was good though. Anyways. And that was when I realized that honesty became my real currency. And these values followed me on every step of my life. Even when I started my own agency. So, if you guys don't already know, a small side piece, I started my first company here in Ngee Poly. So I'm so glad to have grown it. But when we first started, we did Afterlife. It is a nightlife event. We used to sell out $40,000 in a day. I would guess a night lah, because it's a nightlife thing. And we were doing very well for like 1.5 years. And then, every year is always tough because everyone is new year, new me, no alcohol. So we slowly started to die. And as business owners, we know that when something isn't working, we got to pivot. So that's exactly what we did. Me and my business partner, Dewey Chu, love her so much. We thought about it. We were like, okay, what can we do now with our strengths? So my background is in marketing communication. So we were like, let's start an agency. Try lah, huh? So that's what we did. We started an agency called ICO Collective. And when we first started, industry veterans came up and tell us and say, you know what? Your business max 2 years only. Wow, fortune teller or something, We're still around, by the way. It's been more than 2 years, thank you. And it was very disheartening, I would say. And I realized that when we started off as a social media agency, a lot of people didn't really take us seriously because we were young. But we told ourselves, who say cannot? Young then means what? Well, I'm very Singaporean today. So we tried. We got our very first client. I still remember. Um, it's not like a really big client. It was also nightlife. I still remember they were starting out their new club at Sydney Leisure. And when they first started, they were like, okay, you know what? Let's have some really nice pictures to showcase the space. And I said, guys, this is very boring. No one's going to watch it. As content creators myself, I know this is not going to work. So I said, you know what? Give me a chance. Let me show you something that will actually work. I use my connections from radio. I use my connections from other influencer friends that I have. And I say, let's do a grand opening. And we just try to shoot out content. We did it till today. And it's been over like 1.5 years. They're fully booked. And that is something that we are very proud to say. Another one was we did a F&B business, food and beverage. You know, a lot of food businesses, they care a lot about the way the food looks, right? So they wanted to have, again, multiple pictures. People are very obsessed with pictures nowadays. Huh? I said, it's not going to work. The marketing manager say, how dare you challenge me? I say, if no one's going to challenge you, then what's the point of hiring me? Correct? So I said, okay, you got to trust me. What do Singaporeans love? Drama. So I said, okay, let's try something different, okay? What we're going to do to market your place is we're going to put a QR code all over Singapore. So what we did was we had a QR code and then it says on top, why did you cheat on me? Scan to watch the video. Scammer, I tell you. So we had that all over Singapore. And the landing video was a video talking about their whole entire place, the food that they sell. 500,000 organic views in 1 week. I went to the marketing manager and I said, I told you so. Until today, they're fully booked. So that's something that I want to share. Because in my agency, whenever someone comes up with an idea, we don't ever say that that's a bad idea. We always go with the what if approach. This can be a bad idea, but what if we add something to change it up? Because who say cannot? Who say that we cannot try many, many ideas at the same time? Right? So the biggest time I had to use that question for myself was in national service. But I had to tell myself, who say cannot? So what if I was a feminine guy in NS? I'm going to show them that I can do it. Okay? NS is the epitome of masculinity. Okay, yeah, I didn't really do any of these, but yeah, that's what other people did. And, sorry. And at the point of time, I remembered that I had a really hard time. I was bullied. And there was an opening for the parade commander role for my platoon. And no one really thought that I could go for it, right? And I was like, you know what? Since I'm already getting bullied here, right? Let me make the most out of it. You know, my videos are getting a bit dry. Let's spice it up with some content. I go and try. Why? Because who say cannot? So I tried. I went to my sergeant and I said, Sergeant, please let me try. Whether or not I do good or not, just let me try. I tried. I kind of butchered it up a little bit. And I went. And I remember at that point of time, the people who were competing with me were saying, yeah, why you let this kind of influencer gay boy go and do? Let me do lah. Okay. We went for the auditions, multiple rounds. And guys, I got it eh. Can you believe it? No. So, I was sharing every step of that journey on my social media. I posted it on my TikTok. Total almost 1 million views throughout. And this is not like the reason why I say this is not to flex or anything. But the reason why I shared was because I know that no one is talking about it. And it's tough. Because when I went to NS, I was searching for videos. How do different feminine guys stay and live in NS? So I said, let me do it. And this was what really made my day. People started DMing me saying, Ryan, you don't even understand how much of an impact that you caused for me. And for me, it was a very touching moment because this really shows representation. Representation isn't billboards, isn't optics, isn't hashtags. Representation matters because it shows that your existence is valid. So, nowadays, in the times of like, love is often reduced to visibility. Approval is reduced to likes, shares, algorithm. People always tell you that to be loved, you must be palatable. You must be something that people can take in easily. So, when we ask the question, who say cannot? Who say that the picture just now cannot be all three of the butterfly, spoon, and horse? Who says you cannot be a masculine person while wearing a full face of makeup? And what we're asking underneath is, who decides what deserves love and acceptance? So maybe you're a parent raising a kid. Maybe you are a brand who is afraid to take the risk. Maybe you're a person who is struggling to find yourself. I want you to always ask the question, who say cannot? Because just like that, love changes. It becomes something that you say externally to something that you believe in. It starts changing from chasing likes to compassion. And now that is times of like. So go and paint your face. Go and buy the purple color pens that you want. Go and start your business. Because if I could look back at the little boy trying to peel off the paint and the makeup off the mirror, right? I would tell myself that, you know what, Ryan, you've actually made it really, really far. You've done all of this because you've always asked the question every step of the way. And if there's one thing that you guys can take away from my whole entire talk today, I hope you guys can say it with me. Who say cannot? Thank you so much.